News that was first reported this afternoon by J.D. Miles online at cbsnewstexas.com. A Collin County grand jury has now indicted Karmelo Anthony.
He is accused of killing another high school student at a track meet. The story has generated national interest, and our J.D. is live at the Collin County Courthouse, where he's been gathering reaction to this decision. J.D.
Karen and Ken, Collin County District Attorney Greg Willis says his office has been presenting evidence for weeks to a grand jury panel here and asked that panel to return an indictment of first-degree murder on Karmelo Anthony, which they did today.
Now, we know this case has struck a deep nerve here in Collin County and beyond, and that's understandable. When something like this happens at a school event, it shakes people to the core. But let's remember that the justice system works best when it moves with steadiness and principle. That's what we're committed to, and that's what this case deserves.
Willis delivered that video statement after the indictment was handed down. A first-degree murder charge carries a 5 to 99 years or life in prison sentence if convicted. Karmelo Anthony is accused of fatally stabbing Austin Metcalf during a track meet inside a stadium where both of their Frisco ISD high school teams were participating. Anthony told police he acted in self-defense and was provoked by Metcalf during an altercation that preceded the stabbing. Anthony's attorney emphasized his plans to use that defense in a video statement released earlier today.
Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense.
The father of Austin Metcalf issued a statement to us which says, "I am pleased that we are moving forward with the first-degree murder indictment. It now goes into the court system. I fully believe that justice will be served for Austin Metcalf. I look forward to the forthcoming trial, but it will never bring my son back." I'm told the next step in this legal process will be assigning a judge to the case, and that could happen tomorrow when we expect to get a copy of the indictment. That judge will then decide on when to set an initial appearance for Karmelo Anthony, and that could be days, it could be weeks, it could even be months. And as far as a trial date, I'm told that could be well into 2026. Live in McKinney, J.D. Miles.
This case deserves. We're also mindful of Austin's family and everyone who loved him. Please keep them in your thoughts, and if you're willing, your prayers as well. Finally, let's remember that a defendant is presumed innocent unless and until proven guilty in a court of law.
In court. An indictment simply means that a grand jury, after hearing only the prosecution's side of the story, determined that there was enough evidence to allow the case to move forward to court. That's all an indictment means. Karmelo and his family are confident in the justice system and the people of Collin County to be fair and impartial. Of course, Karmelo looks forward to his day in court. It's only in a trial that a jury will hear the full story, one that includes critical facts and context that the grand jury simply didn't get to hear. It's only in a trial that both sides get to present evidence and cross-examine each other's witnesses. This is why our justice system is based on the principle of a full and fair trial. That's because it's only in a trial that the full story can be heard and that impartial justice can be done. We expect that when the full story is heard, the prosecution will not be able to rule out the reasonable doubt that Karmelo Anthony may have acted in self-defense. Self-defense is a fundamental right guaranteed every American. The law is clear. When self-defense is raised by the facts, the law puts the burden squarely on the prosecution to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that the citizen accused did not act in self-defense. The law does not expect or require the citizen accused to prove that they acted in self-defense. It's actually the opposite. The law requires the prosecution to rule out the reasonable doubt that the citizen accused may have acted in self-defense. We understand that this case has sparked strong reactions. Please remember that there are real human beings, kids, on both sides of this case. We ask that everyone do as the law requires and withhold judgment until all the evidence can be heard in court. We are confident that when all the facts are presented and the full story is heard, the jury will reach the right conclusion and justice will be done.
Yo, 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 it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV, UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in. And first and foremost, I do want to take this time to once again send condolences to the entire family of Austin Metcalf, his parents, his brother, any close family members, loved ones, classmates, people that dealt with him on the day-to-day who are going through it with this loss and this process right here. Most definitely, God bless his soul and may he rest in peace. And I had a links in the description where you can watch the clips at the beginning in full from CBS News out of Dallas and Fox 4 out of Dallas as it broke today. Now officially indicted Karmelo Anthony for the stabbing incident that took place back on April 2nd. Now we almost 3 months later, a few days away from it. Bits and pieces of evidence have came out, but we have to say innocent until proven guilty in the court of law, because like the lawyer, and I let a lot of that play there to break down how the law works so people can get a full understanding, and why I've said what I've said over the time. It's all about the evidence that can be presented in court. They are maintaining self-defense. You don't have to prove that this happened or that. It's all about the reasonable doubt. They have to prove everything that, hey, he intended this murder. This is just how it works in Texas. It's not me choosing a side. It's just me speaking the facts. Through the past times in Texas, when they have a self-defense on the table, when it comes to murder in Texas, murder is he intended take this person's life. We don't know exactly what happened. We just recently covered that they let media come in and view the video from the stadium. It was raining that day that this happened at that time when the incident took place about getting under the tents and stuff. They said you could not make out who was doing what, who was stabbing who. You couldn't see the knife. You just seen the crowd. You seen the crowd disperse. You seen the ambulance and medics come onto the field, but you could not make out anything from that video in that time.
The opposite side. And everything that happens in one very small fraction of the screen in the upper left-hand corner. We couldn't zoom in. It's blurry, pixelated. You cannot identify or see victim Austin Metcalf or suspect Karmelo Anthony.
It is hard to tell how many people are under that memorial tent. It's also hard to tell what they're doing. But we do know that about 9:55, there's a lot of commotion, a lot of activity that happens at the top side of that memorial tent all the way down to the bottom. At this point, it is hard to tell, and it does not show on camera the alleged stabbing.
And it was raining that day as well, so I don't know if that played into why we haven't seen any cell phone footage of the incident or why people didn't have their phones out. Maybe it happened so quickly, but I didn't see anything online, and that's something that will have to come out in court. But there's a lot more evidence we need to see it. And on the write-up, it says, Karmelo Anthony, who is now 18 years old, has been indicted on a first-degree murder charge. Anthony is accused of fatally stabbing 17-year-old Austin Metcalf in April during a track meet in Frisco. If convicted, Anthony faces 5 to 99 years in prison. His attorney said he's looking forward to his day in court and when the full story is revealed. Austin Metcalf was stabbed to death on April 2nd at a UIL District 11-5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Arrest documents say Anthony told a school resource officer that Metcalf put his hands on him, and Anthony later reportedly asked if what happened could be considered self-defense. After the officer mentioned to others that he had the alleged suspect in custody, the report states Anthony said, "I'm not alleged, I did it." Anthony was arrested and charged with murder after the stabbing on April 14th. He was released from jail and on a reduced bond of $250,000. Now, when it comes to this right here, bro, murder is murder. That's the law. Self-defense is the law. This is Texas. We've had these cases before. And in these cases, people have not got charged with murder and indicted. They've been indicted for murder, meaning, hey, they charged me for it, I got indicted, but when I went to trial, I didn't get convicted of murder because they didn't prove without a reasonable doubt in the courtroom that his intent was to kill. We just had this case a few months ago with Case and Allison that had those type of results. Happened at a school right up the road from Killeen, Texas, Belford, Texas, where we had, and most definitely God bless his soul as well, Joe Ramirez was stabbed in the bathroom in a school fight. Him and Case and Allison were going back and forth having issues. He had a knife on him in the school, stabbed him 4 times in the bathroom when their incident broke out, and he got negligent homicide.
Case, the defense pleading for the minimum sentence and the state demanding the max. Let me break down how we got here. It was on April 29th when Allison was found not guilty for murder. He was found guilty for criminally negligent homicide, significantly reducing the time Allison would serve. At that point, he could have gotten anywhere from probation to 2 years in jail. Shortly after the trial, a judge applied a deadly weapon enhancement, which eliminated Allison's chances of probation or jail. The decision solidified his fate as a prisoner, anywhere from 2 to 10 years. 9 people.
These are just the way that the laws are. I don't make these laws. I don't create these rules. This is a stand your ground state. This is self-defense. Him being indicted does not mean that he is guilty. We got to wait to see the full story. They did let the media see the video, and I don't know if they have other videos. There's going to be witnesses that come in that the state and the prosecutors want to use for this case. We just got to wait till all the evidence come out. But if they, without a doubt, cannot show, hey, he wanted to kill him right here. He wanted to take his life. His goal was to end his life. He cannot be convicted of murder in the state of Texas. And if you make a threat to somebody, you put your hands on somebody out here, they have a right to defend yourself. You have a right to defend yourself. That's just what that is in the state of Texas. The ultimate thing that we can say here is try to avoid these incidents and keep your hands to yourself at all time for everybody, because this is a thing that happens, bro. In the state of Texas, it's happened before. It's documented. This is nothing new. These are just the laws. It's the way it's worked. It's a very unfortunate situation. 2 young dudes, whole lives ahead of them, going through this process. Austin Metcalf losing his life. Don't want that with kids and people in school or anybody, but yeah, they came down with the indictment today. We'll keep y'all updated on it. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1,000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.